Well, it's Wednesday night, and it's a very good Wednesday night because we've got almost the entire crew back on Wednesday night. Sweep the League podcast. Rudy, Stats, The Rock, and Derek Gervin is back with us tonight. He's been training with Team Gervin, getting all the kids ready for basketball season. I know he's having a great time. Derek, how's Team Gervin doing out there on the basketball circuit right now?
We started off a little sluggish because I took a lot of guys that hadn't gotten a lot of opportunities to play on their other teams. So it was a kind of rough patch we hit at first. We were losing a lot of the games by 25, 30 points. The last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I ramped it up. The practices have gotten better, and now we're in every game. So we started winning a few games. We've lost a few, but we've given ourselves a chance to succeed, being in every game. So we're making progress. I went from 6 players. I'll have 11 by next week, and the practices are getting better and better by the day. So I call that a success. Progress.
Nice. That is progress. And do y'all have a game Friday?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to try to make that game because I want to see Team Gervin in action with my own eyes here.
It's a 9 p.m. game.
Oh, you know what? I'm an old man, but I can stay up past 9 o'clock still.
Challenge accepted, Rudy.
I would invite Rock, but Rock's gonna probably be at the strip club, so we're not gonna even worry about Rock.
Hey, I might make an exception for Derek, man. I'll go with you. I'll roll with you, man. I want to see Derek coaching out there.
All right, well, we might be able to swing out there to see Team Gervin.
I hope I see you guys, man. It'll be fun. I won't have a whole team tomorrow. I'll have 7 guys. 2 of my guys are, they vacation. School's getting to start back up. And then 2 other guys will be joining me next week. But the good thing is they practiced with us yesterday, and they're all in. So as of next week, we'll be a full team, and I'm very excited about that.
Well, quick note before we actually dive into everything. Apparently, Derek was so excited about last night's practice that he tore his basketball shoes, Zion style.
Yeah.
That's the rumor.
It's not a rumor. It's a fact. It's
going
fact,
hard, Derek.
Man. Some new shoes, too, like some Nikes, like Zion, brand new shoes. I had them on, man. The sole came off on me, and they ended up looking like one of them was a gym shoe, and the other one ended up being like a track shoe.
Oh my God. That would have been a sight to see. Well, it is Sweep the League, man. We've got Sweep or Keep. Derek, I don't know if we're going to do Sweep or Keep tonight. That's always a fun segment. We have Spurs Cheeseman, where we're going to combine XFL and San Antonio Spurs basketball. Aaron Rodgers going Nicolas Cage on us for the open of training camp. Dak Prescott doing what he does best, throwing pick sixes in practice. And of course, Chip England is the latest casualty of the Spurs offseason. He's on the move. We're going to get Derek's opinion on that as well. Everything here on Sweep the League. We're sweeping all the entire sports world. Plus, I have a very special small segment for Derek. I saw him posting the start bench cut this past week on a lot of players. I got 3 players we're going to get with Derek on. But first things first, man. Wow. Chip England. He said he was going to take off. He said he was leaving. We didn't get a time frame. Then it comes out today by Adrian Wojnarowski that Chip took off because they couldn't come to terms on a contract in San Antonio. I don't know how I feel about that. I know it's a rebuild. I understand Pop has about a year left, before he probably is walking away. But I would think Chip England is an asset that you want to keep for a very long time with the San Antonio Spurs. Am I in the wrong to think that this was a move that should have been a no-brainer? If Chip wants 10 years, give him 10 years. If he wants, 5 years, give him 5 years. I don't know the insides and outs of the actual GM position or front office, probably as well as Derek does. But Derek, when it comes to Chip England, how significant of a loss is this for the San Antonio Spurs?
I think it's a huge loss because I'm a Chip fan, the shot whisperer, as they call him. I thought he was fantastic. A lot of the guys bought into what he was teaching them, technique as far as shooting the ball. And he's known around the league. He's been known for years. And a lot of the guys seem to also like him. So it's something, it's not just that he's good at his job. He's also good as far as getting the guys to trust what he's teaching them. and that's always a big plus. I hate to see him go to Oklahoma City or any other team, but I don't know what's really going on with the Spurs now that PJ Holt and his sister have taken over. And, of course, we know R.C. Buford's role is not what it once was. So there's a lot of still things that's going on under the table and all the other things that people don't know. We don't know what style of play the Spurs want to play now. We don't know if they're trying to win. I just don't understand. So there's some things that we'll find out later on as we move on. But, yes, it's going to be a huge loss with losing Chip. And I wish him well in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, for sure. And he's actually going to a really good spot in Oklahoma City. They got a lot of youth, man. Josh Giddey, Chet Holmgren. I mean, you've got a great team being built out in OKC. Rock, I mentioned the question earlier. I want to get you and Stats' opinion on this one because seeing that the contract situation was the issue, are the Spurs bleeding money? I mean, now I kind of mentioned that to you guys earlier in the chat, and then I started seeing on Twitter how some fans are thinking the same thing. Where are the Spurs really losing enough money to where they can't offer, max contracts? They can't offer a coach who's been here a very long time the quality, the quantity on the years. I mean, it just seems like something, like Derek said, it just doesn't seem right.
Hey, Rudy, can I say something quickly before Rock chimes in?
Go ahead, bro.
If you look at the direction they're headed right now, they won't say it publicly, but it looks like they're trying to get that number one pick. I don't want to put things out there. I hope I'm not putting the cat out the bag too soon, but it seems like they want Wambaya, I believe his name is, or Wambaya, something like that. And that's where they seem to be headed. Keldon Johnson is the guy right now that's the go-to guy out of all the guys remaining. And he's signed a new contract, but it was, I won't say only $20 million a year, but as we know today in the NBA market, that's not a whole lot of money for a guy that you consider your franchise guy right now.
And they were feeling that they may not be able to sign him beyond his contract extension. That was kind of a rumor going around on some of the media guys as well. But Rock, the question stands, the money wise, as far as San Antonio, I want to get you and Stats on that. And Stats, even if you want to jump in there about what Derek was saying, because it does feel like they may want to go after Wambaya as well.
Yeah, I don't have to agree with kind of what Derek said. It kind of gives a signal that they're going to be trying to get that number one pick. But to me, maybe they have been losing money, but we're never going to see it or probably hear it announced publicly. But I mean, man, who knows? I mean, I'm with you. They should have offered Chip whatever he wanted. You have a youth team. You have some rookies that need their help for the shots. And, originally when the report came out that Chip was going to leave after his contract ended, I was kind of confused. Like, when that ended, some people were saying, after the season, I heard other reports saying 2 more seasons, but then you just see that come out today with Woj saying that he's gone. So the Thunder got a hell of a coach, man. So now I'm real confused who's going to take over that role. It's a real big loss because, I mean, I think the one guy that really needed the most work, coming as a rookie was Shohan. And I was real hyped to see what he was going to be able to do with Shohan. But now we might be looking at, seeing some guys having to work on the shot for years. So we're really not going to know what's wrong. But, yeah, I agree with you that maybe the money's going to be bleeding down. And it could be signal as, the worst of worst that they're showing the NBA that they're losing money, so they need to move. But I mean, I'm not trying to say that. Well, I'm not trying to say that they're going to move, but I've seen people saying that, maybe that's like a direction that they're trying to do. I'm not claiming that, I want them to do that, but maybe, in the back of their head, that's like their end game. So
it's on everybody's head.
Hey, Rude, it's not a good move at this time because you got Primo is supposed to be a year more experienced. You got this kid that I love coming in, not even Sochan. Don't forget Blake Wesley.
Yeah.
Devin Vassell was supposed to be headed for a breakout year. So, yeah, man, it's going to be huge, man. I hope they bring in somebody that can fill the shoes even 70 or 80% of the guy that Chip was for the Spurs.
There's actually a really good shooter that resides in San Antonio. Is George available to take over an assistant coach spot? Hey, Stats. Yeah, Stats. As far as like Derek was saying, they're probably on their way to getting Wambaya. They're looking at him. If you look at the teams already assembled, I mean, they've got shooters around. They've got young talent. Adding a literally centerpiece, probably is a very nice fit for the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to what y'all were talking about. I mean, the Kelton deal is very team friendly. The more you look at it, and there's $6 million apparently in bonuses that are not predicted to go in Keldon's favor. So like he has to work really hard to get that $6 million in bonuses. So really, it's like a $74 million contract over 4 years. So it is a pretty team friendly, but I think, and Derek, you brought up a really good point though, because the team is in a transition right now, not only on the court but off, behind the scenes in the administration. So I feel like this chip move might just be a shift in the administration, just deciding to move forward with fresher blood. Maybe they just want to let him walk. Maybe Chip had maybe he wanted to, there was a sense where he wanted to go in some other place, some other organization, and they were happy to let him go in a way. Of course, I think it would have been nice to have him stay. I think a lot of Spurs fans would have rather had him stay, but I think that part of it, a big part of it, is this change in the behind the scenes workings of this Spurs organization, and they are probably looking for fresher blood. They're looking for a new change in scenery, new people coming into the office, and I think it is just this new administration trying to put its handprints.
Do you
On
think I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
I was saying, do y'all guys think the Brett Brown signing maybe pissed off Chip a little bit, considering Brett would probably be the main, like the head assistant coach, figuring Chip would have probably had that position now that Becky was gone?
Yeah, you could say so, because I mean, maybe Chip did want the bigger role here, and who knows what's going behind the scenes, like Derek said, and everyone's been saying, we don't know what's truly happening and how much longer Pop has. So maybe he felt his future was cloudy, and him and Pop had a discussion, and maybe Pop felt it was better for him to go to OKC. I mean, he has a relationship with Sam Presti, who used to be with the Spurs organization.
Yeah.
Yeah, that made me wonder. That made me wonder about the whole Brett Brown, because the Chip had no issues. Like, we didn't hear anything about Chip until after Brett came in. Brett was going to be an assistant coach, and then a little time after that, we hear Chip is deciding to leave San Antonio at the end of his contract. So when you see Chip England saying, I want to leave at the end of my contract, you would have think if this contract already had ended this year, he would have already been gone. Not say, well, I'm at the end of my contract, I'm going to take off. It's like, you know what? My contract's up, I'm gone. So it kind of almost seems like he didn't fulfill the rest of his contract. Maybe the Spurs let him go ahead of time. I mean, to me, it kind of was a cloudy situation when the whole Brett Brown thing came in. Then he saw Chip wanting to leave, and now all of a sudden Chip's gone. It just moved way too fast, like super fast. But
Rudy,
yeah,
they must have made it worth Chip's worthwhile though. They must have paid him, gave him what he wanted in Oklahoma City. So I mean, he's not stepping into a bad situation. You mentioned, they got Giddey, Holmgren, Dort, and those guys. They're not a bad team. Shea Gilders. I mean, they got some pieces. So I hate to see him go help these guys improve their shots. But with the Spurs now, man, they're so quiet about what's going on. The community doesn't really know publicly. The Spurs won't say what direction they're headed in, but I mean, we're only speculating, so nobody really know why Chip left. But like I said, I wish him well, but I hate to see him go.
For sure. I'm going to give you guys a direction out there to head into, and that is Baller Boys Podcast. Mark and Shemaya always dropping a great podcast, the Baller Boys Podcast. Catch it where podcasts available. Also, the Derek Irvin's got his show as well on Monday nights. Is it the Big D? Is it Big D and what is it? Big Mo and D Gerv?
D Gerv and Big Mo show.
D Gerv and Big Mo show is on Facebook every single Monday night. Check it out. Paul McKeskey, Derek Gervin, talking everything and anything basketball and sports related. Not only that, our very own Shemaya, SOTB Internet Radio. I mean, we are blowing up all over the place here. Catch Shemaya SOTB Internet Radio. Go download that ASAP. I've heard the station. It's very, very good. Fantastic. A lot of great options here. Of course, Sweep the League, Derek Gervin, Rudy Campos, Rocky Garza, the Rock himself, Mark Stats himself, and Shemaya on the beats. So I want to move real quick on this. I'm going to put Derek on the spot because I woke up this morning and said, I've got to get Derek on a start, bench, cut, thing here. So Derek, I'm going to give you three guys here. You know the routine, you know the rules. Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, George Gervin.
Oh man, don't do that to me.
I had to do that. You do that to me. You do that to me. I had to do that because you done it to me. So
Well, the reason is hard because I wish you would have picked another shooting guard. So that's what makes it hard. So automatically Magic will be in it because he's the greatest point guard of all time.
mm-hmm.
And now you're putting me on the spot because we come down to shooting, and a lot of people don't know me. On Facebook, I'm all about efficiency and statistics.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, so people will know, the two all-time leading scorers per minute in the NBA history are Mike and George. Mike, 37.8 points a game, I believe, over 48 minutes, and George, 37.2 points a game. Or break it down, 0.78 points and 0.72 points. Either or you can take it. The difference is George took less shots. So for me, if we talk about offense, I'm going to take George Gervin. If you're talking about overall, I'm going to take Michael Jordan. So that's about the best answer I can give. Magic Johnson, I start. If I need scoring, George, I bench. And if I need and Mike, I cut, and vice versa. If I need total play, Mike, I bench, and George, I cut.
I figured that's the way you were going to go. I had it in my mind. I said, this is probably how he's going to go. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if Michael Jordan got cut like he did in junior high by Derek Irvin.
They both get cut because George is a great player, but when it comes, George is a great player, my brother. But when it comes to playing on both ends of the floor, Mike is. I know what he could do, so I would clearly give him the advantage overall. So I would say Magic starts, Mike bench, and my brother gets cut, but that's okay. He can take it.
Rock's got a smile. Rock, who would you cut out of those three guys?
Cutting Magic, man. I'm gonna be surprised. I'm gonna start Jordan, bench George, and cut Magic.
See, he would cut. I figured one of you guys would cut Magic.
If you go by behavior, I'm cutting Magic too. Wow, I know those guys. So,
okay, stats, real quick. Gosh. What would you do out of those three guys?
Oh man, I'm gonna concur with Rock on that one. I think he and I got the same idea there.
Okay,
fist pounding you, Rock.
That's fine. And for honestly, I can't answer my own question, so we're just gonna skip it because I'm not gonna answer that. I'm putting you guys on the spot. I'm not taking that spotlight from you guys there.
It wouldn't be a show.
All right.
We're not doing a 75% show, so we need you to chime in, man.
So I've always felt as a point guard position player growing up, I've always felt point guard was the main position on the court. So I'd have to start Magic to get the ball flowing. And I have to hurt my feelings. No, really. I know. I would definitely keep bench Mike, but I would have to cut George. And I don't know why. I just would say that overall, I guess, like you said, for me, both sides of the court, Mike has the edge on. So I would have to take Mike, cut George, but I know George will be picked up very, very quick somewhere else. And that would be my loss as he wins titles on another team except mine. And I just have to cut him.
Well, now they've both been cut before, but Mike got cut I'm glad Mike got cut at an earlier age. George is getting cut now at 70, so that's okay.
Oh, yeah, he'll be fine getting cut at 70 years old. So we've got an MVP in the NFL who decided to show up looking like Nicolas Cage. And I just got to know, would one of you guys show up like that to a Sweep the League event? I know Rock would. But could we get Derek in a white tank top, blue jeans, and nothing on the hair? I mean, we all need the long hair. We can all get a wig on the long hair. But can Derek Gervin show up on a Sweep the League event just like that?
Yeah. Well, if I was Aaron Rodgers, I could, because Aaron, man. Aaron is the guy that loves publicity. Last year he took pictures. He was out somewhere. They were hiking or whatever, and with the girlfriend. And I mean, that's Aaron. That's always been him. His MO. You remember he was always out there with Danica Patrick.
Yeah.
So he's the guy. He's an eccentric guy. And whatever he does, man, I support it because he's good for television. And I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan. So I appreciate someone that's not putting on airs and they're going to be themselves. And that's definitely Aaron Rodgers, Mr. Double Check.
Discount double check there. Hey,
yes, sir.
Rocking stats. Anyway, we can get one of you guys to come out like Aaron and dress like that.
Dude, I think all of us should do it, man. Photo shoot. Let's do it.
I'm down.
Let's do it, man.
I still have the boob fat still on the side of me, so I'd have to maybe if I could tape that down underneath the tank top, I'll do it. I don't mind doing something like that,
dude. A-Rod can do whatever he wants at this point. He's dealing with Green Bay, so.
Well, yeah. I mean, apparently he threw a fire. He fired shots back at Devontae, saying, about going from one Hall of Famer to another Hall of Famer.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so I figured that's going to come up in Sweeper Keep. But we got Sweeper Keep coming up here in just a little bit. Last thing we want to get to, Spurs Cheese, man. I got to get y'all's opinion on this because we have the XFL coming to San Antonio. I've always felt that if a football team is going to succeed in San Antonio, it has to have the backing of Spurs Sports and Entertainment. Spurs are the number one team in San Antonio. If the Spurs support this XFL team, I think you can see success for this team as long as the league stays in check too. The league's got to stay in check.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, the biggest thing is the league. But I think if the league is doing good and the Spurs support this team, the XFL team will actually do really good. Around the horn real quick, let's just go asking the basic question. Do the Spurs need to be supporters of the XFL team coming to San Antonio in order for them to survive in San Antonio?
I'll go first. I'll say yes. Joe Clark, the president of the Spurs Sports and Entertainment, yes, support these guys. They bringing in a marquee name, Hines Ward, and I think the time is now. I think the fans are supported, and I want to see some football. So I say no doubt, no question, support.
Yeah, I have to agree with Derek. I mean, they need the support. I mean, the Commanders were a pretty popular team before that league folded. And the XFL, it has a big brand name. I mean, I feel like it's going to be 10 times bigger than what they have with the Gunslingers right now. I mean, no disrespect to the Gunslingers, but I mean, you're having more marquee names, and you have Hines Ward as the coach. You're playing in the Dome, and you've seen how much they can fill up the Alamo Dome. And San Antonio's won a football team, so you're probably going to see a bigger crowd at those games at the Dome. But most definitely, if that team starts out hot, they're going undefeated, they could have that kind of a feel and energy that UTSA brought to the city. And most definitely, the Spurs Sports and Entertainment back it. It's just going to be developing as well. But it also depends if the XFL can survive, compete with the NFLs of the world.
They're not going to compete with the NFL. This is going to be like a G League for the NFL, apparently. Something what the AAF was supposed to be. But they're going to try to do it with this. But go ahead, Stats. Same thing, man. Did the Spurs need to support this in order for it to go anywhere?
Yes, I think I agree with the guys. I think they do need to have that extra support, especially considering that the XFL is still trying to figure. I mean, they're not completely solidified just yet because anything could happen with the league. I think a lot of Spurs fans, or not Spurs fans, but San Antonians in general, were kind of I guess they were given the cold shoulder with the Commanders because they were really good. And even in that very first game, a lot of fans showed up. A lot of people in San Antonio that wanted football showed up and they packed. And I remember they showed that first game on TV, and they had that massive hit on the quarterback, and the whole dome went wild. Everyone went wild, and it was really cool to see that. And San Antonio does want a football team to support, like a major one, and the XFL is a good way of getting that. And the Spurs organization, Spurs Sports and Entertainment supporting that will only bolster, I think, the credibility of that as well. And like you said, Hines Ward, big name that everyone knows, major player. So all of that should combine into a really good, successful experience. Again, it's always been about the uncertainty about these organizations, unfortunately, with the actual league in general, because the Commanders should have, lasted longer, and that league should have lasted longer. And I think fans are craving football here.
Awesome. I agree with you guys 100%. The Spurs need to back this thing. They need to get behind the XFL team coming to San Antonio. Hines Ward is a massive hire for this team. So that's going to boost ticket sales. That's going to boost the morale here in San Antonio. Love it, love it, love it. One thing you should love is I Am Refocused Radio. Shemaya just dropped an interview with Michael Rappaport amongst another guy, Kenny Anderson, who Derek actually probably knows very well too, Mr. Kenny Anderson.
He came in the year after me, but I'm very familiar with Mr. Georgia Tech. I wish he would have got an opportunity to showcase his game even more in the NBA. That's a top of the line interview. The lefty from New York City, New York legend, Kenny Anderson.
Definitely one of the point guards. Kenny Anderson being interviewed by Shemaya on I Am Refocused Radio. It's that time, guys. We come to the end of the show. This is a quick show on Sweep the League. We keep it very simple, very short. It's sweet.
Rudy,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can I say this quickly, really quick?
Go for it. Go for it.
So we can talk about this next time. You brought up the Spurs. Here's the question. Are the Spurs even going to be, how much longer are the Spurs going to be in San Antonio, or are we going to be calling them the team from Austin in a few years?
Oh, man, you've got to drop that on us now. You know what? Let's take we can take a few minutes to do that. Let's take a few minutes to do that. The way it looks, if you ask me right now.
I'm getting nervous, man.
Yeah, I wasn't nervous ever until the DeJounte move kind of got me a little head scratch, but knowing that Chip is leaving because of a contract and also seeing the direction that we're looking at, and then they're being so quiet in free agency this year with all that cap space, I'm starting to wonder if we're going to be hearing relocation sooner than later. And I think that if I had to put a time frame, again, not saying they are going to leave, but if I had to put a time frame, 4 years, I think 4 years is probably around that time where we start to see, because that comes up to where Keldon, his contract comes up. This is kind of where you pray. If you get Wembanyama, then I think you solidify San Antonio again, because that brings the David Robinson effect. That brings the Tim Duncan effect. That brings the crowd back in. You've got a big man. You've got someone to build around. So if they don't get Wembanyama, then I give it a 4-year mark. So I don't know if you guys want to jump in on that.
Yeah, you're right on par with what I was thinking as well. I mean, Wembanyama, I don't even know how to say it. I'll just say Wemby. But he would be a big star, and it would bring a lot of excitement to San Antonio. I mean, this next class is loaded, but I mean, I know everyone's most likely the most known name is Wemby. But yeah, I could see a 4 to 5 year frame. I don't know where exactly they would go. I mean, the most popular name is Vegas, and people are like, well, they're working on Vegas. You saw it with the Silver Stars, and now they're the Aces, and they're hooping over there. Big. They're doing big things with Becky, but who knows? I mean, I hope they don't ever leave. I've grown up all my years as a Spurs fan, and y'all have as well. But we'll just have to see what's going to happen, and I'm just hoping that it's not going to be. I'm going to be cheering on in another city or state in 5 years.
Nah, I think they're staying. I don't see them moving. I think they're staying. I think this is just a very uncertain time because of how harsh the reset button has been pressed. We just haven't seen this in a while for this very storied organization, just that has been renowned with success. And I think the fans are also just kind of panicking about it. But this is a reset, and they're clearly, they're not spending in free agency because they know what they're doing. They're not looking to retool the team to get into a play-in. They are just going to let these young guys get experience out there on the floor. They're going to give them the minutes that they need, the guys that they just drafted. And like you said, they're going to go for, I can't say his name, Wamba Dubba Dumbum Babayo, something, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't know.
We couldn't say Giannis' name. And Pirtle will be leaving this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it just wouldn't make sense for them to bring in a bunch of like middle name or high name free agents right now anyway, because I think they have a plan. They know what they're trying to do, and the fans just have to accept the fact that they are in a tank. Like, they are not trying to go and win a championship right now. They are trying to develop their young talent, as you just mentioned, Primo, these young guys, these guys that they just drafted. So I don't see them leaving San Antonio.
When I win the lottery on Friday, they'll stay. I'll buy it and they'll stay. I'll put Derek in charge of everything too. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. And it's kind of funny. If Derek is going to be back, when we can get Derek back on the show, I got to get into Primo talk with him, because him and I have had some very good conversations about Josh Primo, that if you are a true fan of the San Antonio Spurs, you will have your eyes opened big time on Primo talk. So as soon as we can get with Derek on it again, we'll talk to him. But we got to get to Sweeper Keep. Derek, Sweeper Keep's fun. You're going to see how it works. Mark's going to basically give you the rules on it. And it's probably one of the better segments that we have on Sweep the League, because now fans are getting involved in it.
Well, I'm a team player, so hey, I think I learned kind of quick.
Let's do it. All right, Stats, Sweep or Keep.
All right, let's do this, gentlemen. And for our first-time listeners, welcome to the game of Sweep or Keep, where we give our opinions on a certain topic, whether it was on Twitter, it's a story, or something a player said. So with that being said, you're either going to sweep it, which means you think it's rubbish, you don't like it, or you're going to keep it, which means you're going to stash it up on your mantle above your fireplace. So let's play the game of Sweep or Keep. Gentlemen, we're going to start off with the NFL. Sweep or keep? Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer.
Where the hell did you see that? I didn't even see that at all. Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer.
For me, I'm going to keep it. And Phil, if you look at his career, sometimes you can't help that the team that you have, if they don't put give you the guys that surround you, like the wide receivers, running backs, and all that. Phillip Rivers has been a star in this league. He's been very consistent. He's the kind of guy that every team wanted when he was available as a free agent. I won't say every team, but there were a lot of teams out there that were looking for a marquee player. And he's been a marquee player throughout his career. I've heard some talk about Derek Carr being a Hall of Famer. So if they're going to talk about Derek Carr being a Hall of Famer, there's no question in my mind that Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer.
I think I'm going to piss people off. I want to say keep, because I think he's got the stats. I think he's got, the numbers to get in, but I base it off of what has he won. And
he's Dame Lillard, Rudy. He's a Dame Lillard type of the NFL.
Oh, now that you put it that way, I can see it.
We have record of 5-7.
Okay, so I'm gonna say sweep right now, because I look at it. He's not Dan Marino. Marino's numbers are ridiculous, and he didn't win a Super Bowl. So I would say if you're not gonna win, you've got to at least put up Marino stats to get in my opinion only. Now I know he can get in.
Who was better player, Eli Manning or Phillip Rivers? Take away championship. A better player on the head-to-head matchup.
Phillip Rivers, but Manning gets in because of the Super Bowl wins. I mean, but Rivers is the better player.
Well, that could be your answer right there then.
You see, that's why we have Derek on the show, because now it makes me want to just put my mic on mute and just sit here like, well, I have no idea. Rock, Rivers, sweep or keep?
Man, I mean, originally I was looking at just sweeping it completely, but pulling up the stats, even though he has a 5-7 record, and you kind of mentioned stats, he retired fifth in three major categories: completed passes, passing yards, and passing touchdowns. And he ranks behind Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, and Brett Favre, who are all Hall of Fame quarterbacks. But they won, and so I think he'll get in eventually. It's not going to be anytime soon. I don't know how long you have to wait to get eligible.
5 years.
Yeah, and so he's probably not going to get a first ballot.
Right.
Probably go through maybe 2 or 3 times, then get in. But it's going to be tough for him to get in. I'll be really surprised if he goes first ballot.
Rocky, how many years he played? 16 or 17, right?
17, yeah.
Yeah, I say he gets in, but I'm like you, it won't be first ballot, but at some point I say he gets in the next few years or within the next 10 years for sure.
Tommy Nobis better make the Hall of Fame before anybody else. I'm tired of him being left
That's
off.
true.
Jesus. All right, Stats, what do we got next?
All right, gentlemen, here is a local and familiar story. So, sweep or keep the new San Antonio Spurs 2022 city or a statement jerseys.
I'm sweeping it, and that's the one with the Serape on the side, right?
Yeah, it looks
Okay.
like a youth basketball jersey.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sweeping it because I really think, and I talked to Jeff Garcia on Locked On Spurs, and I basically said if they would have added the green, the red, the white colors on the side of the jersey, I would have been in it all day. You got to add color. The silver and black is just played out. It's old. I like the design. I just don't like the color scheme. So because of that, I'm sweeping it. I'm not gonna buy one. But I'll tell you what, I'm buying the old ABA throwback edition jerseys that they're coming out with. I've got a list of players, and FYI, Alvin Robertson's one of them, Derek. I'm gonna get his jersey.
Oh man, that's fantastic. Al's a good guy, man. People, hey, we mature. He's been my friend for years, for 35, 40 years. So I'm glad that you honor him. I just wish more people knew about what kind of player he really was.
Yeah, he was a great player. All right, Derek, sweep or keep? Are you keeping these jerseys or are you sweeping them out?
No, I'm sweeping them all the way under the rug. I thought they were Bush League. They would be good. They would be really, really good for my 8th grade team. So I'm sleeping.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you. I thought the same thing.
Yeah, I'm sleeping that under the rug. Throwing that rug in the trash and taking it to the dumpster. Man, they're ugly. I mean, I love the classic. I love the other jerseys, but these, man, just the font looks off. The shorts are kind of cool, but it's ugly, man. Like Derek said for his team, man, they'll take some AAU jerseys.
Jesus Christ. All right, what do we got next? Next topic.
All right, we're going to the Durantula country again. Kevin Durant on the Celtics trade rumors. Kyrie told me everything about Boston, and I'm not interested in playing there. Sweep or keep?
You guys go first. I'm gonna let you guys go first on that one.
Wow. I don't know. I'm gonna keep that one because these players say a lot of things verbally in the media, and then they have their own feelings behind the scenes. With Kevin Durant, we never know. I'm gonna be honest about it. It depends on what kind of hydro or whatever they call it today, whatever he smoked today. His answers changes from day after day. Remember, we're talking about KD, so you never know. So I'm going to buy it because we'll never hear. He might change his mind tomorrow and want to go to the Celtics. Here's the question quickly, though. They cannot get him, so would they be willing to give up Marcus Smart as well as Jaylen Brown to get him? So that's what's going to have to play out first. But I said I'd buy. I keep.
I'll say this real quick to answer that question. You can give up a Marcus Smart because you just got a Malcolm Brogdon. So you can kind of make up for it that way.
I give him up because Bruce Brown's gone from the Nets. I would make that move. I love Jaylen Brown, but I would make that move for sure. Exactly. I want KD.
Yeah, KD would definitely make that team way, way better. Especially, like I said, you have Brogdon coming in, so losing a Marcus Smart wouldn't be super bad at all. I'm gonna keep it, and I'm gonna be flat out honest. I have no fucking idea why I'm keeping it. I don't know. I don't know if it's true. I don't know. Players talk, players do this, players are doing that. I have no idea if Kyrie told Kevin about the truth. Kevin could just be saying stuff to say he doesn't want to go to Boston. So yeah. I really don't know to buy it. So I'm just going to keep it because it's just, I don't know. Comes before S.
Hey, Rudy, let me say this to these guys. Can you guys imagine Steve Nash if all these guys were healthy? James Harden, Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant all on one team. You're talking about driving the coach to Laurel Ridge to the mental facility.
Wow. Nash would be bald. He'd lose all that rest of his hair. What do you got, Rock?
I'm gonna save it just for now because you really don't know. Kind of KD just has no choice. I mean, he can say he doesn't want to go there, but I mean, if the franchise is gonna send him over and they want to get a big deal to get out of the KD antics, they're gonna send him over. I think it'd be a smart choice for him to go over there. It'd probably give him one of his best shots, and that duo of him and Tatum would be one of the league's best, if anything. But yeah, like you said, if I'm the Nets, I'm saying give me Smart and Jaylen Brown and picks or nothing. I mean, you still would have a solid team over there in Brooklyn, with Brown, Simmons, and Smart, and picks, relatively. So I wouldn't really mind, but it would just be kind of confusing if KD gets moved. What would happen to Kyrie? Would he get moved as well, or would they just try to make it all work and be kumbaya over there? So who knows?
Yeah, who knows at all. All right, Stas, we got one more, or we done for the night?
We have one more, and we could try to make this one quick. So, quick little quote here from our favorite Tyreek Hill. He had a quote here for his new quarterback, Tua. He describes him as the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. Gentlemen, are we going to sweep, or are we going to keep this?
LOL.
Sweep. And I mean, I get it. You can improve accuracy as a QB, especially if you're in the NFL, but we haven't seen Tua do shit since he's been in the NFL.
Man, you gotta stop it.
What do you mean stop it?
It shouldn't even take that long. You know darn well, man, please.
Go for it, Derek. Go for it.
Well, you know that I don't even have to answer that. Just say the question again, please.
Oh, are you sure you want to hear it again?
Yeah, I want to know. I'm making a point. I want you to say it again.
Yep. Okay, so Tyreek Hill says that Tua is the most accurate quarterback in the NFL.
Now, and I hear your voice. Okay, there's the answer.
So are we saying Tyreek is smoking whatever KD is smoking?
Tyreek's had a comedy hour. No more Comedy Central, so now we're starting comedy hour.
And Tyreek's not even in Denver. Let's see. I mean,
the Mile High. Yeah.
Yep.
If Rock buys this, I don't think we're gonna have to put Rock on a suspension.
No, don't believe me. That's just funny. I mean, I respect, respect to Hill because you're hyping up your boy, and it's like when you and your homie are going out with a girl and her friend, and then like your friend's not the best, and then it's like, is your friend cute? He's like, look at him, you're like, yeah, he's cute. It's like,
yeah, my friend. Yeah, he's the most accurate quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, this guy's the most handsomest guy in San Antonio. I swear, man. It's like,
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the hell Tyreek's thinking, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know where that comment comes from, but nonetheless, that is sweep or keep. We actually had some fans respond on the Devontae Adams sweep or keep that Stats had posted. We're going to go through those comments, and we're going to select one of you guys or girls out there to get a Sweep the League t-shirt from us. We'll get it sent out to you ASAP. So we'll be doing that. You'll look for more sweep or keep on social media. Respond to it. We love giving out Burger Boy things, Sweep the League t-shirts, stuff like that. But I'm gonna say from one Hall of Famer to another Hall of Famer to another Hall of Famer, and the other Hall of Famer being Stats as well. This has been Sweep the League. Derek, thank you for coming back for the show. We're gonna have you obviously as soon as we can. We'll get you back on the show. Team Gervin.
I'll be back.
Yeah, yes, Team Gervin is number one, man. You got to take care of the kids first.
Hey, Rudy, we actually headed that way, man. We're great, really good team. I watched the practice yesterday. It's like a new team. It's been like night and day in 2 weeks. We've had a heck of a transformation.
Nice, and it's going to continue to get better, no doubt about it. Team Gervin does play this Friday at 9:00, so we're going to see if we can make it out there and watch Team Gervin take
All-Star Sports Complex, Rudy. I was 1604. All-Star Sports Complex. ACA okay. All-Star Sports Complex.
All-Star Sports Complex. We'll tweet that out. Also, we'll put it on social media so that way maybe we can get a little crowd out there, watch Team Gervin play some ball this Friday. So for Derek Gervin, the Rock himself, Stats making everything go, Shemaya on the beats, SOTB, internet radio. Go take a listen. It's guaranteed to be fire. Rudy Campos Jr. for Sweep the League. Until we sweep the league again next week, we'll see you then.